September has been a month of caves and cliffs, adding brand new generation and our old trusty caves. By old I mean the one we got in the 1.17 snapshots before it got separated. So today we're gonna do a rundown of everything that happened in September. This is monthly recap September 2021. Starting off with Snapshot 21W37A. Come on, blocks are a bit broken in this snapshot, so bear with me just for this one. So this snapshot brought new generations. These features were actually in the experimental snapshot brought to normal snapshot. So if you don't know what experimental snapshots are, in 1.18 there were 7 experimental snapshots which were experimenting the new generation, and in this snapshot all those 7 snapshots we're gonna pretend like that never happened. All those 7 experimental snapshots features were brought into normal snapshots for the first time. Biome generation has been improved, but we'll get there. Noise caves are added back along with aquifers. If I go underground, you can see that the new caves are back, just like I said in the intro, along with the aquifers, which are just flooded caves. Yeah, nothing more. And to be honest, I think I'm seeing a lot more aquifers than before. It's a bit too much, like there's too much water now underground. I don't think it's supposed to be that much, but it does that realism, I think. I haven't studied geography, so I don't know much about this, but pretty sure that's how life works. I mean, that's how the world works, not life. My comment is pretty broken. The 2 new underground biomes, Lust Caves and Distorting Caves, are now naturally generating. Now you may be thinking about they were generating before, and actually no, you need to use a custom world with that biome only. They didn't naturally generate along with other biomes. So now if I type this command locate biome, let's go for Lust Cave first. It will actually locate, and that's pretty far away. Okay, let's go there. My FPS is probably gonna die right away. Okay, 14 FPS, good so far. My world is eternal blackness. Okay, 1 FPS. And look at this. I will highly recommend you guys to download the snapshot for yourself and test out the new generations and feedback to Mojang. I will link a survey in the description, fill it, and it will help Mojang improve the game. But you can just look at this epic generation. Just look at it. Like, it's so cool. Along with the mesa, inside there is the Lust Caves. You can see it. And oh, I need to see this. Imagine you're in Survivor and you just come across this bunch of gold. Wait, what spider is this? That's pretty high up actually. I mean, oh wait, it's in the Badlands, I forgot. And there's the Lust Cave that we all know and love. I think that's a glow squid. Yep, that's a glow squid. And some axolotls. So axolotls spawn in Lust Caves only now, I'm pretty sure. I actually forgot. Wait a second, just let me check. I'm pretty sure axolotls only spawn in Lust Caves now, as far as I'm concerned. Let me just do this. It's still far, 229 blocks away. Let me just go there. And this is the Dripstone Caves right in front of you. I mean, yeah, Dripstone Caves are pretty lacking at the moment, to be honest. Oh, this is also in another Badlands. If I just go down here, you can see that this is a Dripstone Cave. Not the coolest one I've ever seen, but it's sort of good, To be honest, many of you guys will probably think that these caves are way too big and it's, already way too bright. But the thing is, I mean bright. If we just go to Moody, this is a built-in shaders in Minecraft, I can call it, like with a glow icon separated around. It just actually gives so much more useful. I don't know why so many people play with this. I mean, that's not a new feature actually. I'm back and we just saw the cave biomes, but in mountains too new biomes have been added. So yeah, this is the caves and cliffs update. If you remember, this is not just a caves update anymore. I mean, it was never just a caves update, but still. So here there are biomes. There are a total of 6 new mountain biomes, and the first biome is groves. Now there is all the information you need. You can just read this and pause this and read this, but I'm gonna just show you it in action. This is what we call a grove. It spawns with spruce trees and it tends to generate in high altitude. Like look at that, that's actually really high. You might wanna wear leather boots in here because powder snow naturally generates. That's the snow. I don't see any powder. No, you can just go in there and you can just use it. Okay, there are no powder snow in this one, but powder snows do generate lofty peaks, which you can pause the screen again and just read this. And what do we have here, you may ask, in lofty peaks? Well, it's dramatic, right? Yeah, this is dramatic. This is dramatic, steep, like really high mountains generating. And I don't know if powder snow can generate on this one too. It never said anything about powder snow, but so the goats can spawn in this, and in groves, wolves, rabbits, and foxes spawn in groves, and in here, goats can spawn in here. Okay, we're taking things a bit too slow. I must just speed it up. Okay, so the next biome is meadow, which is a large grassy biome, just like the plains biome. Let me show you. So you see, this is a meadow. Now that's perfect representation. Like this is plains, and this is a meadow. You can just see the difference. What is that? Oh, look at this. Now this is called the new cave generation. I have been using a spyglass a bit too much. This is the new cave generation. But what I was saying is that meadow is like okay, we're gonna move on. Meadow is like high altitude plains. Like this is also a plain. This is sunflower, but still a plain. And this is a meadow. Meadows are like a basic flower forest, up high in the higher altitude, and sometimes lone trees, like single trees, spawn, and they will always have bee here. This is in the sunflower plains. At first it didn't, and it is just a change of the latest snapshot that the lone trees will always have a bee nest. And this is not an example, this is just in the plains. I wasn't lucky, and there is no lone trees in here. I don't even see any much trees. Next is stony peaks. Let me just show you. Oh yeah, in meadows, normal plains, mob spawn. I'm totally forgetting about the mob things. So according to Mojang, stony cliffs may be. This is stony. Are you joking right now? What? This is actually really awkward right here. What? Stony Peaks is basically, I think you can easily imagine, this is basically our old mountains, when there was not much snow on top. It was basically just stone and gravel and stuff, It's basically that exact thing. And it may be sometimes like smooth like the new ones, or, rough, jagged like the old ones. And it can spawn ghosts. And most importantly, it can contain strips of calcite, which I don't see any right now. So there will be like sometimes, like let me just show you, like big giant strips of calcite. I just did a little bit, but it's like goes on like till here and something. So you don't have to always go to Geo to find it. You may be thinking that I'm actually rushing over this biome and I actually am, because there's so much more features to cover, and I will recommend you check out the biome yourself because there's so much to it, and no one can just explain it in one video. Next up we have snowy slopes. This is another one where powder snow can generate. They're basically the same as like grove, but in here the it's a bit different. Let me just show you. This is a snow. Let me just generate it. My Minecraft is having. Can you guys hear my CPU fan? Like it's going crazy. I think it's actually being recorded too. Let me just check. Yeah, guaranteed it's being recorded by the looks apparently. But this is a snowy slope. I hope I got it. Yeah, I got it. So you see, this is like it tends to generate on high altitude, like we're on high altitude, and powder snow can generate on this one too. But I'm just having some terrible. Yeah, this is powder snow, right? No, this isn't. You can just go in and see if they're in powder snow. Yeah, there it is. You know, you will just like, oh, look at this, I need some spruce, I mean, and boom, you're trapped. I mean, these are not really that deep. Usually they sometimes go even deeper, but like in here, this goes actually a bit deep. Like you can fall all the way down here, and this just looks so cool. So powder snow will naturally generate in here, and you can actually just, instead of putting cooldown, if you can find one of these biome, you can just, you know, you don't even need leather boots, just bring a bunch of buckets. Life-saving tips. You know, I escaped out. I didn't. So next up we have snow-capped peak, which is the peaks of the mountains, which is the pinpoint. And let me show you something cool. Snow-capped peaks. This is actually my personal favorite mountain biome. Favorite. And according to Mojang, it spawns goats and yeti. No, they said not actually, but just goats, but still. Is this, it can be a hint to yeti coming to Minecraft, but I'm pretty sure they won't do it because that's a bit too big of a mob. And I'm pretty sure it never mentioned anything about powder snow, and I'm not sure if powder snow can even, I don't think it can. But you see that that's a goat right there that spawned in here, and you can just see how mystical, magical, whatever you call it, it looks. And you can see it with all the packed eyes and even normal eyes. It is actually looking like a perfect home for a yeti. Oh, did I just found the home for a yeti? I think, oh, look at that. That goes so deep. It actually looks like it. And let me just turn my renders a bit down so the fogs will cover it up, dude. My renders actually just messed up. Just load it up. You can see like how epic this is actually. Oh, look at this. This actually is a bug generation. This is actually not a different biome. But if snow-capped peaks or any mountain biome, oh look, this is a better dripstone cave than what I found before. But if they, because you know, 3D biomes are currently not actually that good in here. So if they generate down in caves, this is basically an ice cave, which I really hope Mojang thinks to add. But yeah, perfect home for a yeti. Is there something actually behind this waterfall? Like, nope. Okay, we've covered every single one of the mountains and caves biomes. I still highly recommend you to check them out, but the video is already becoming a bit too long, so I think we should continue. World height limit has been expanded by 64 blocks on top and bottom. So min y again is minus 64 and max y being 319. So this is our old world, the yellow one, and each block represents 64 blocks. So 64, 64, 64, 64, that was 256. And now it has extended 64 from the bottom to minus 64 and another 64 from the top to actually get it to 319, which is the old height before we got the update splitted. Ore distribution has also been changed, so you can't just mine in Y12, don't find any diamonds and then complain that Mojang rigged the game. It has been officially changed. And here's what Mojang had to say about it. There is no, it's better. There is no longer a single Y level that is best for all ores. You need to make trade-offs. So every ore is generating in its own separate ways. They are actually colliding still, but still, if everything has a different, you know, terms of where you should, if you want that, you should really go to a different Y level. So first of all, coal will spawn above Y0 and below Y390, meaning it can spawn all the way up to world height limit, and it has a strong bias at Y96 plus, meaning above Y96 it generates more. And also coal has reduced air exposure, meaning it will spawn more either buried or underwater, which technically makes it more realistic. Iron has two places to generate actually. It can generate above Y-64 to Y72 and has a strong bias toward Y16, and it can also generate above Y112 and below Y319 with more iron the higher you go. So this is for the new mountains, and between this area 72 to 112 you won't find any iron. For copper, the newly added ore, it will spawn above Y0 but below Y196 and a strong bias towards Y48, so it will mostly generate about there, and this will spawn in large amounts in different waves. Also, if you have no idea what the heck is Y is, if you press F3 there is the Y tab. We are currently at Y103 and that's the Y limit. It's like how high and low you go. Gold will spawn above Y-64 and below Y32, so it won't spawn much higher, and a strong bias towards Y -16. And gold is still found in abundance in Badlands Mine, so it will still spawn more there, like we just saw a bit before. Lapis, on the other hand, will generate above Y -64 and below Y64 with a strong bias towards Y0, and below -32 or above 32, like in that vicinity, it will generate buried or underwater, not exposed. And redstone will generate above Y -62 and below Y16. So you can see that these ores are actually like really low, while these are actually kind of a bit high or it generates a bit higher. These are actually lower, and it will spawn the lower you go, the more redstone. And finally diamonds, finally getting changed above Y -64 and below Y16. So basically the same, just extended down, and more diamonds the lower you go. That's a new change. And along with that, reduced air exposure, mostly found buried or somewhere. There has been some block changes too, so these are just generation change. Don't think the block has been changed. Enchanted table now emits a low light level. You can't probably see it, but if I go to Moody, it emits a light level of 7, enough to prevent mobs from spawning, which actually kind of makes sense because it glows by the looks of it. Right clicking these with CS stops them from going. Now you may be wondering, what are these? Cave vines, twisting vines, weeping vines, or kelp. You will usually put a string on top of them to avoid them from going, but now if you just take a seer, you can see in that right that its age is 8. Right click it, its age is 25, and it won't grow anymore. The age isn't just embodied, it's just for the NBD tags, for map creators watching, but you can just see this won't grow ever. Let me just game roll right into this, higher this up. I'm gonna just place a normal one right here, just to show that you can see that this one is actually growing. See that? Wait, that's getting too quick. So let me just go back to 0. This thing is really helpful for aesthetic purposes, like you can easily actually stop them from going and just make them look more beautiful. I just realized all of my copper just oxidized. I should probably wax them. Mob spawning changes. So mob spawning has also been changes. The new caves are bigger, as you just saw, so it will be of course harder to light. So now mobs only spawn in light level 0. So you can see I'm currently in light level 1. I'm in 0, and mobs can spawn here, but there is a 15 star which still affects, but during the night time they can spawn in 0. New options, there has been a bunch of new options. Accessibility option to turn off flashing during thunderstorms. So if we go to accessibility settings, there's this new option saying hide lightning flashes. What this will do is, for some people have problems when there are certain glow ups, I think, and you can just now avoid it in thunderstorms too. Sound settings to specify the audio device of the game. Now if I go to music settings, music and sound, there's this new thing. You can see device system default, and that's my speakers, and that's so if you have like multiple audio devices, you can just now choose which one. Like you have a small speakers inside your house and a ginormous speaker outside, and the calm micro music plays and you want your entire neighborhood to hear it. You can just do it by just clicking on this thing. Keybinds have their own separate tab in controls now. So usually what would you do if you go to controls and they will keybinds, but now that's not the case. Keybinds is in here like a complete separate tab, which I think is totally deserved because this looks so much more organized actually. And you may see in the control tab 2 new options. The toggle screen and sneak options are in controls now. Now these are actually new options. These used to be in accessibility and these are still in here. And just like accessibility has subtitles too, but also in music, just like that, in controls too now you can customize it, because I'm pretty sure these are more control settings than accessibility. And here are some minor changes. Deep slate won't generate above Y0. Granite andesite diorite dirt won't generate below Y0. Less diorite granite andesite above Y60. Villagers won't attack baby villages now. Cloud level raised from Y128 to Y92. And a whole bunch of technical changes. And there was a new font added too. So this is a classic microphone that I just typed, that all sign. But what did I tell you about? You see, I will press save. It's gone. Command blocks are bugged out. But thankfully I have the command right here. This is just accessible by command only, and this is from Minecraft Dungeons. You see, I will print high in the color of red in the new font called Illiger All, which is a rune type font, and if I print it, see that I can't do anything, not just high. Puki has a blade. For example, if I do this, I'm just copy this just in case. That's Puki has a blade, so that's like a decoded language, I think. Next up we have Snapshot 21W38A. So this is actually just a minor snapshot, not much changes. Sprinting no longer stops if you gently press a wall. So you see, if you like sprint and if you just like crash into the wall, you will stop sprinting. You may have noticed it before. So like I will actually do this, do that, and then I stop sprinting. Touch your arms and like just a gentle brush, nothing will happen now. So you can still sprint with just like a little gentle brush. New setting, simulation distance, which is a very important thing. You may have noticed this all this time when I was coming here. Simulation distance. Entities out of simulation distance won't be updated. This allows higher renderings with less CPU load. So what this is basically is, so before you would do like there's like let's take for example, let me summon a pig. So I would like have high resistance and it would like put a lot of pressure in my CPU, but I have my simulation as 2 chunks. So what will you do? Let me just turn off chunk border. This pig is in this chunk, so if I go there, 1, 2, 3. So I'm actually out of there, and let me just turn this off. You can see the pig, and the pig won't be updated now that I'm out. And a whole bunch of technical changes again. So in this episode there was a whole bunch of technical changes again, too big for me to comprehend, so I just couldn't understand what thing they said. So anyways, next up we have Snapshot 21W39A. Let me just get rid of this guy. So this is no small snapshots. New advancements are here. The 1.18 advancements are officially here. So these are all the advancements. First of all, it is caves and cliffs. This advancement will be granted when you fall from the top up to the bottom of the overworld while surviving. You can just like pretend you can just like fall from the top, die, and will like, oh yeah, I did the achievement. You have to survive. So this okay, see how it is. So you see this 2x2 hole, it goes all the way down to bedrock with a water bucket down there. And I'm gonna just go up there, put my spawn point up here, and let's just pray that I make it in. See that? Okay, yeah. Caves and cliffs, oh yeah. Next up is feels like home. Rider 50 blocks in the overworld. So I got a warp fungus on this. So you see he's almost dead, but still. This is actually a 50 block lava, and I need to ride it 50 block in here. I don't know how it almost died, what happened actually. Oh, rain, yeah. So I'm pretty sure I just already rolled 50 blocks. So next up we have Star Trader, which I'm afraid may not work again because I already did it. So I've copied this command and we go up there. This is a sky platform which is in the build height. So for Star Trader, what you need to do is get a villager in survival. Actually, you can spawn it in survival, I mean, you will have to probably take a minecart or bubble edit or something. Now it has a job, and if I trade with it, I will get the advancement Star Trader. Simple as that, but toughest brick to accomplish. And last but not least, we have Sound of Music. Play a music in a jukebox in the meadows. So if we go to the meadows, and then take the jukebox out, and let's say I'm a big step. You see, Sound of Music. So anyways, this is not just all the change. There has been more things added than the advancements. Effects now are on the right side of the inventory to make it visible with the receipt books open. Now you see I have Bad Omen, and let me just show the survival mode. And this is usually how you would not see it. You will actually see it in here. Now it's on the right side of the screen, and there are actually 2 modes. Compact is a single icon for each effect, and classic, like before, a list one after another, and the game auto switches between on screen side. So this is called classic. It's if I add, let's say water breathing, and these are just a list one after another. But before they were on this side, so if I click this thing, recipe book, then there was a recipe. But now they go to the compact mode, which I really like. It looks so cool, just hover over there, and it says the time duration, which is infinity for me, but this looks awesome. you know. And there are some minor changes. Drowns can now spawn in aquifers in dripstone caves. Zombies no longer spawn in dripstone caves. This is a big change. Buried treasure chests can now contain water breathing potions, and default brightness, which used to be like right here full, is now at 50%, which is now called the default one. And I still will prefer moody over default or 100 any day. That's like a literal built-in status, you know, like I don't man those who don't play without, there's something missing out. Like, look at this text, it look like neon now. I hope you guys enjoyed this monthly recap video. I actually really enjoy making these monthly recap videos, and I'm gonna try to do one every month now. And on top of that, I'm gonna actually post other videos too, and I'm gonna try to make my upload more consistent again, because it's been really sketchy recently. So anyways, with that, I want to just say a huge thank you if you have watched the video all the way to the end, and even if you just skip to the end, if you're just watching at least, very big thanks for watching my content. And stay sub with me, and I'll see you all in my next video whenever it releases. No idea when it will, but I'm pretty sure soon. Bye. That was the most sarcastic I ever said, but bye.